In my presentation, I will be talking about the game Sea of Thieves, which is a 2018 action-adventure game developed by Rare and published by Xbox Game Studios. The game was exclusively on PC and Xbox until Rare released it on PlayStation 5 on April 30th, 2024. As a player, you have the option to sail into an open sea as 3 different ships of your choice. The first being a sloop, which has the smallest but fastest ship, holding a max of 2 players. The second is a brig, which holds a max of 3 players, and the last one is a galleon, which holds a max of 4 players and is the slowest ship of the 3. When you join a server, there can be anywhere between 2 to 20 other people on the server. For the gameplay, players will spawn at one of the 6 outposts. Outposts are where new crews and their ships spawn, or sometimes after their ship has been sunk. Outposts contain shops where cosmetics for any items can be purchased, and each outpost contains one of each shop. Representatives of trading companies can be found at outposts where voyages, promotions, cosmetics, and emissary flags can be purchased, and every representative has an emissary table next to them. Many barrels can be found among the outposts, where consumable ship resources can be collected, such as cannonballs, wooden planks, fish bait, and fruit. Players have full control of their ships, such as steering the ship, manning the cannons, navigating the map, boarding enemy ships, and scouting from the crow's nest. Players can also save the loadout of the ship and customize the ship's hull, figurehead, sails, and captain's quarters, as well as name their ship. These customizations can be done at any outpost. While on the server, players may encounter other hostile players who may attack them with cannonballs or board their ship and try to kill them. If areas under the deck take damage from cannonballs, water will flow in and cause the ship to gradually sink. Players need to patch up the holes with planks of wood and bail out water using buckets found in the player's inventory in order to save their ship from sinking. When a player dies, they are taken to the Ferry of the Damned. This acts as a temporary lobby that you must wait in until a door opens up, allowing you back into the world, spawning you back on your ship. A common goal of Sea of Thieves is to earn the Pirate Legend title, which grants you access to the Athena's Fortune hideout, where you can purchase exclusive character clothing, ship customizations, and Athena's Voyages. Athena's Voyages are quests that lead you to one of the more sought-after chests, Athena chests, which grant you Athena reputation. Reputation in this game is what allows you to level up and unlock Pirate Legend. Reputation can be earned by first raising the emissary flag by casting a crew vote at the emissary table found at each company's tent at an outpost. Then, after choosing which company you want to represent, you can purchase voyages which give you maps to other islands to dig up loot, fight NPC skeletons that drop loot, and solve riddles which lead you to chests. With the loot found from these voyages, you can return it to any outpost and deliver it to the company you are representing in return for reputation and gold, which is the game's main currency. These companies include merchants, which have you deliver goods to other islands and NPCs, collect animals in cages, and recover sunken loot from shipwrecks. Gold hoarders, which have you solve riddles and dig for buried treasure. Order of Souls, where you collect valuable skulls by defeating skeleton captains at other islands. Hunter's Call, where you fish, cook the fish, and return it for a price. And lastly, Reaper's Hideout, which takes basically any loot, especially stolen items from other players. The one thing that makes representing the Reaper flag different from the others is that your ship is highlighted on the map for other players to see. Essentially, representing the Reaper's flag implies that you're looking for PvP in the game, and in my opinion, for the sole purpose of getting gold, representing the Reaper flag is the easiest way to do so. As you place loot on your ship while representing an emissary, your flag will level up. The higher the level, the more reputation and gold you will earn. For Reapers, any loot that is stolen from other ships count towards leveling up your emissary flag. Once you achieve Pirate Legend, you'll also unlock the ability to represent the Athena company and gain reputation for Athena, which allows you to unlock more exclusive cosmetics the higher level is. To actually get the Pirate Legend title, you must reach level 45 reputation for 3 of the different companies. So that could be Reapers, Gold Hoarder, and Order of Souls. In my experience, If anyone sees the Athena flag on your ship in the distance, you immediately have a target on your back, since Athena loot is some of the most valuable loot in the game. As for exploration and discovery, the world Sea of Thieves is broken up into a variety of different islands and biomes, with different environments to uncover. Some examples include the Devil's Roar, which is a volcanic region full of hazards, including lava pools, eruptions, flying rocks that shoot out of volcanoes, which can damage your ship. The Ancient Isles, which are home to ruins. Typically, these islands have tall stone structures, and some islands contain treasure vaults that require solving riddles to unlock, such as those linked to the Gold Hoarder's emissary. Lastly, the Shores of Gold, which is the location of one of the game's most popular quests, the Tall Tale, called the Shores of Gold, where players explore hidden temples, solve complex puzzles, and seek treasure. One extremely fun aspect in this game is the Tall Tales. Tall Tales are for the people who enjoy fighting NPCs and a deep storyline. Each Tall Tale tells a long story, sometimes revolving around an iconic pirate or historical event in the Sea of Thieves universe. Unlike standard quests that may be completed in a single trip, Tall Tales are broken into multiple stages or chapters. Players may have to visit multiple islands, interact with NPCs, and solve complex puzzles along the way. Tall Tales often lead players to unique, story-specific locations that aren't found in regular exploration. For example, some Tall Tales involve traveling to special secret islands like the Shores of Gold, encountering ghost ships, or exploring ancient ruins. For world events, Sea of Thieves is known for its world events, which range from environmental threats to massive sea battles. These events often spawn randomly and require players to work together to overcome them. A few examples of these events include skeleton forts. You'll know a skeleton fort appears when you see a skull made of clouds with glowing green eyes appear above one of the 9 fort islands. Some of these islands include Hidden Spring Keep, Sailor's Knot Stronghold, or Lost Gold Fort. At a skeleton fort, players will need to kill waves of skeletons until they achieve the boss level, spawning in a large skeleton with a lot more health and the ability to heal, while also fighting off regular skeletons. Once the boss is completed, it will drop a vault key, which is used to unlock the vault at the island, granting the players valuable loot. It's important to note that there are more difficult variations of skeleton forts, one of these being the Fort of Fortunes event. This event is similar to a regular skeleton fort. The only difference is the skull in the sky glows red. There are more waves of skeletons, and the boss wave consists of 3 tanky bosses at once, on top of the regular skeletons. And the loot you get is much better than the regular skeleton forts. One of the most important events of the skeleton forts is easily the Fort of the Damned. This fort can only be initiated by players and will not spawn randomly. To start this fort, players need 1 ritual skull, which can be obtained through luck or by purchasing a ritual skull map from any outpost. Players will need the 6 Flames of Fate to start the event also. The Flames of Fate can be obtained by dying 6 different ways, and collecting a different color on your lantern when you visit the Ferry of the Damned. Green is by dying to a skeleton, pink is by being killed by another player, blue is by getting eaten by a shark, purple is being poisoned by a snake, white is from being struck by lightning, and red is death by fire. The Fort of the Damned event introduces more difficult waves of skeletons and a boss called the Ghost of Grey Marrow, who has a ton of health. It's also extremely stressful because, like other forts, people can see the event in the sky, and the Fort of the Damned is easily one of the most sought after events due to its valuable loot, like an Athena chest and other Athena loot. 2 interesting things that I should mention is that they have megalodons that spawn, which isn't technically a world event, but it still provides loot when it's killed. The megalodon is a legendary shark that can appear during voyages, particularly when you're near deep sea location like Sharkbait Cove. The shark has different variations, including the Shrouded Ghost, which is nearly impossible to find and has a spawn rate of 0.5%. It's also important to know that when there aren't any events going on, that's when the Kraken is able to spawn. You'll know the Kraken is spawning when the water around your ship turns black, and when it spawns, your ship will be surrounded by tentacles and the Kraken will try to pull you off your boat. To escape, you have to fend off the Kraken's hovering tentacles with cannons and other weapons while trying to get out of the black circle of water, or you can kill it and it will drop loot. It's not an extremely hard thing to kill, however it's very stressful if you have to fight it while also fighting other ships. As for the PvP, a few years ago, Sea of Thieves had an arena mode which was different from the other free roam because it specifically consisted of PvP. The arena was a competitive game mode where players competed for silver in 15-minute matches, and the goal was to earn silver by defeating other ships and players, collecting chests, and digging for chests. The crew with the most silver at the end of the match won. Unfortunately, with Sea of Thieves developing a seasonal battle pass and putting their time into free roam updates, Arena was moved from the game on March 10, 2022 at the start of Season 6. Personally, me and my friends rarely played Arena due to its high difficulty. There was also no skill-based matchmaking, so you would get put into the game with experienced players and we could hardly keep up with the skill level. In the game, there are many weapons used for PvP, starting with the ship's cannons. There are regular cannonballs that can be shot, chain shots that are used specifically for taking down enemy ships' mass, blunder bombs which are similar to a grenade and also act as a throwable. They recently added a new type of cannonball called a scatter shot that has a short range but shoots 4 mini cannonballs in a wide spread. They have fireballs which light enemy ships on fire, and the most valuable cannonballs include curse cannonballs. Just a few of these curse cannonballs include anchor balls, which drop a ship's anchor, causing their ship to stop, allowing for easier shots. Grog balls, which causes enemy players to get drunk, making their screen dizzy and causing them to throw up all over the ship. And lastly, the peace ball, which disables a ship's cannons temporarily. Players can only have 2 weapons on their person at once. These handheld weapons include the cutlass, flintlock pistol, blunderbuss, which acts as a shotgun, sailor eye of reach, which is basically a sniper, double barrel pistol, and a recently added throwing knives. For PvP in free roam, it mostly happens when some type of loot is involved, or if you just happen to meet extremely aggressive players. Sea of Thieves is honestly full of greedy players, but it's always fun to break alliances and sneak behind other people's backs and sink them. I'll admit I'm a hypocrite because I complain when people backstab me, but me and my friends do the same thing many times, so. In my overall experience, Sea of Thieves is easily one of the best games I've ever played, and I highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't played it or has been unsure about downloading it. The PvP is great, and there are a ton of methods and strategies to fighting other players. For those who are looking for a less intense experience and want to explore, Sea of Thieves is always adding events and storylines, so there's definitely a lot of exploration to be done. I hope you enjoyed my presentation on Sea of Thieves and learned something new about it, and hopefully I inspired you to look into buying the game.